it true that if it wasn't for feminism, women like me would not be able to work, enter higher education, or own a credit card? Welcome back to the Bridges of Belief podcast for 2026. We are back and we are excited. Kevin is now a father of 3. Welcome, Kevin. And there's Poya, famously in love.
Famously in love. We have to break that down in one podcast.
That's just that's on your soul right now. Every time I look at you, and they're touching each other. It's beautiful. Okay, so boys, I've been reading. Okay, this author Carrie Gress. She's this mother of 5, PhD in philosophy. She's written 11 books, and she's like super Catholic mom. Right? Okay. She's really, really, really insanely smart. She's written books like the 2 that I've read, The End of Woman, Why Smashing the Patriarchy is Destroying Us, or something, and Something Wicked, Why Feminism Can't Be Fused with Christianity. Okay, so I said in a reel recently that was highlighted when Poya was asking me something, but I said in a reel recently that feminism has made women delulu, and wow, the backlash. But what fascinated me wasn't the anger, it was the script, right? The same script over and over and over again. If it wasn't for feminism, Jess, you wouldn't have a career. If it wasn't for feminism, you couldn't own a credit card. If it wasn't for feminism, you wouldn't be allowed to study. You are benefiting from the very thing that you're attacking. Okay, and I thought, hang on, is that actually true? Is that historically accurate, or have we just absorbed a cultural talking point?
Interesting.
Okay, why are you saying interesting?
Well, I think it's interesting that I didn't consider that, because I'm always looking at the anti-argument. I'm always looking at the, like, I feel like there is in my head, it's always like there's hundreds and hundreds of like absolute like destruction arguments for feminism. I'm just like, it's just a joke. Like, even though you'll see these memes, you know, where I don't know what that guy is. He's from Flagrants, where he goes, he goes, how feminism comes out, like, you know, when the war happens. It's like feminism. There's no feminism when the war happens, but all of a sudden they come out when all the war is finished, and they're just like, hey.
There's no feminism
Where's
when
your
you go.
them now?
Yeah.
There's no feminism when you're on a first date.
Is the war finished? We're out now. So I love that, and there's so many just absolute dominating mic drop arguments to it.
Yeah, but
I've never.
Like
but
it's always like some guy like going against a college kid. It's anyway.
But you always send it to me though. Okay. You always said it without me. But I think, like, yeah, just from that perspective. But I have to admit, when I'm hearing this, what you're saying, I'm like, okay. Like, I know that you're gonna have like an absolute like counter destruction argument. I know you are. I mean, that's why you're saying it. Try. But that's why I find it interesting.
Also, anyway, can we just say, if you're getting triggered by this conversation, just like hear it out. Like, I'm tired. I'm tired, guys.
There's no more reason.
But you know,
and I just want to bring a reason. It's a reasonable argument that I'm bringing here.
Yeah. Okay. You go, Jess.
Okay,
you go.
Right. Okay. So the myth that I want to debunk, the main myth I want to debunk in this episode, is that feminism gave women their rights. Okay. Is that actually true? So the idea that women were sitting at home waiting for Gloria Steinem and Betty Friedan in second wave feminism to rescue them is historically inaccurate and ridiculous. Because peasant women worked fields, medieval women ran ale houses, like beer ale houses, widows ran businesses, and women worked in family trades for centuries. This is basic economic history. Women have always worked. What changed was the industrialization era.
Okay. Is this just in a Western context, just to be specific?
Probably, yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, mostly, largely in the Western context. Not the invention of the working woman, right? Okay.
Yeah.
So I have so much to say to this.
I just think we've created this cartoon version of history. Okay, no, you go.
No, that's absolutely brilliant. The thing that comes up to me as I'm hearing this is what I'm realizing about feminism is I feel like it's more of a posture. Right? I feel like feminism is a posture of pride, it's almost like a anti-men type of posture, right?
Yep.
And one thing that I feel like breaks it is I remember watching a reel of someone who actually spends a lot of time with Alex Hormozi and Layla Hormozi. And if you guys don't know Layla Hormozi, she's like a super successful businesswoman, along with her partner, who is equally, if not more, successful, and they both own a beautiful business together, multiple businesses together. What's really interesting is someone says Layla Hormozi, everyone thinks she's like a boss feminine woman, like a boss kind of, feminist woman, but she's actually the most trad wife ever.
Right. Interesting.
She is so traditional, and she's so kind of submissive and loving, and she doesn't have that feminist anti-men posture. She just has the posture of, I love Alex so much and I'm submissive to him, but this is how I serve him, by crushing it at business.
Right.
Do you get what I'm trying to say?
I love it.
And I don't know if that's exactly what she would say, but I see that. And there's all these other reels where you see her being feminine and soft towards Alex. And I'm like, that's really cool that a woman can be unbelievably successful.
Right.
As long as the posture is still a posture of just having a beautiful dynamic in the relationship, where it's not like anti-men or putting a man down type of thing. They can be submissive to their man, just as there'll be times where the man is submissive to the woman. But the whole purpose is to serve. Do you get what I'm trying to say here?
Yeah. Poya, what's your beef with this? I know that you've got.
Oh, yes, a beef with this.
I've got mad beef with feminism. It's gonna get dark.
Bring it.
It's not gonna be funny talk though. To establish context, I am very, very, very pro women's rights. I strongly believe that women should have the same rights as men. I believe that women's voices are important and should be heard. I don't associate any of that with feminism anymore.
Yeah.
I think feminism, to me right now, is actually a joke. And the reason is that...
It's actually true.
I don't say... And this isn't me trying to even be funny. And this is personal for me. So for some of you may notice, my parents are from Iran. We've been in the news a lot recently. Iran is... So have you guys read Handmaid's Tale or watched the show?
No, but I've heard about it.
Yeah.
What's the premise, Jess? Do you want to
Okay, I'll just quickly share the premise.
share the premise of Handmaid's Tale?
Okay, I haven't read it. I've only just seen
I've
trailers. But how about you do it?
Okay, sure, I'll do it. Yeah, because I've read it. Sorry, I thought you read it. No. Okay, so Handmaid's Tale is set in a post-apocalyptic dystopian US where men have wives assigned to them who are fertile. They have handmaidens who are fertile. And they also have, elder wives or something. It's been years since I read the book. But they have wives. They have these handmaidens who are fertile women whom they have sex with to reproduce. And the way they have sex with them is disgusting. Essentially, the woman lies with her legs spread open, and then the elder wife is like kind of on top of her or something. So it's like, it's really effed up. That book is about what a toxic...
Why on top of her?
Because it's like he's not cheating on his wife, something like that. So he's using it's so disgusting. This is the book. And people often say this book, it's like what toxic Christianity looks like. No, this book, and this is true, was inspired by the situation in Iran, because in 1979, the Islamic Republic regime came in and took control of Iran, instituting Sharia law, which robbed women of rights. So in the constitution of Iran, women have half the value of a man. Women have to be completely covered up. So in 2022, a girl called Mahsa Amini, she was 20 years old, was murdered by the morality police because a piece of hair from her hijab stuck out. They took her, they raped her, and they killed her. Okay? And then everyone started rioting, tearing off, burning their hijabs as they should, and barely anyone said anything. Where are all the feminists? And now, again, the Islamic Republic is murdering their citizens, probably around 70,000 dead. I haven't heard a single feminist say anything. Wow. Iran is a gender apartheid. It is, and this whole thing of anti-West imperialism, or how like women are oppressed in the West, sure. But look at Iran. And have none of them have said anything. So no, I don't like feminism. I don't take it seriously at all. I think it's a joke. Yeah. Because you don't stand by your own principles. Yeah. You don't stand by your own principles. So how can we take you seriously? I'm all for women's rights. I am truly Iranian. Yeah. I am so for women's rights. Iran needs to be because women have no rights there. Yeah. But yeah, it's passionate. It's personal for me. And so for me, I can't. I hear Western women say, "Oh, like I'm so oppressed here." I'm like, what oppression do you have? And I guess it is relative. Like I want to be objective here as well, but Yeah, I just can't take you seriously. It's just
Yep.
privilege. It's just the result of privilege
Yeah.
at this point. I think there was a
Yep.
place for it. That's my view. There was a place for it.
Yeah.
But I think now it's just about leveraging privilege and
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which has led to misplaced compassion, because instead of this compassion going to the Iranian women who really need it, who really need an advocate,
Yep.
right? And right now it seems like Elon Musk is an advocate for them.
Yep. The right
where
is
are
more
the
of an
feminists?
advocate. No,
Yeah.
none of the Democrat, like I guess, like obviously left wing, but I've heard no support from left wing politicians, and I've always leaned a bit more left politically.
If you want someone to do something, you get the right.
Not always. I don't know that.
Exactly. We put our money where our
you know
mouth
what-
is.
I remember my brother was arguing this. He goes, because me and my brother, we always argue about, I'm like, no, you got to be in the middle. You got to be in the middle. He goes, if the war came or the craziest things happened, who do you think was going to respond? And I'm like, yeah,
I think it
probably the
depends.
right.
I think
Probably the right.
Look, I think it's a bit
I
more.
think everyone agrees
I think,
with that.
I think it's a bit more nuanced than that because
Yeah.
I think it's a bit more nuanced than
I mean,
that. But
everything is
I will
nuanced to
say
the end,
this:
but,
the
like,
thing that
yeah.
pisses me off is the left align with these principles.
Yeah.
And that's what pisses me off. They are not living up to
Yeah.
them.
It's just
That's
virtue
what
signaling.
pisses me.
virtue
It's
signaling.
just
signaling.
virtue signaling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've not seen any of my feminist friends on Instagram post about Iran. I'm posting about it every day. I've not seen any of them reshare anything.
Wow.
And then they're like, "Oh, I'm like a feminist and all this crap."
Just shows you
Shut up.
they don't
Yeah.
really care about
don't
it.
care.
The only thing they care about is it's revenge.
Yeah.
It's not even revenge. It's just it's
Feminism
identity.
is
It's
just
self-importance.
revenge. That's all it is. It's
I
just
wanna-
revenge.
I
Yeah.
Sorry,
wanna
sorry, we've
bring in-
derailed this a bit.
This is great. This is great.
I want to bring in Carrie Gress's argument because I think you boys will find this really interesting. And I think anyone listening to this episode, I really, really want this to land because I want you to hear this. But Carrie Gress, her theory in Something Wicked, why feminism cannot be fused with Christianity, and I've read most
interesting.
of the book and I actually really agree with her right now. But her argument is that her theory is that feminism has become some sort of a shadow church where women in the church, Catholic, Protestant, no matter what kind of church, our church, Assemblies of God, Pentecostal, it's okay to believe these things, even though a lot of it was fused with Marxism, the occult, abortion, the sexual revolution. There's just a lot of really shady stuff going on. Okay, so let me just give you what she believes is feminism's 3 commandments. Thou shalt be autonomous. So the woman needs to be independent, and we're going to really know what women are like once they stop caring for kids and being attached to men. That's what Mary Wollstonecraft, the first wave feminist, was fighting for, Gloria Steinem and Betty Friedan in second wave feminism and beyond. Wow. Okay? Because second wave feminism is often counted in like historical, I guess, reviews, because that's when legal reform started. The suffragettes came about in the first wave. Okay, so the second commandment of feminism, thou shalt be Okay, let me start that again. The second wave of feminism. The second commandment of feminism, thou shalt be promiscuous.
Is that actually
Oh,
written down?
interesting.
Wait, is this legit?
This is a theory. This is a theory from Carrie Gress.
Yeah.
Okay.
And the third commandment of feminism is thou shalt hate all men.
Yeah,
Okay,
for sure.
So now obviously not every feminist consciously thinks that, but culturally what do we see? Do we see women encouraged toward radical independence?
Yep.
Buying their own houses, getting a
Yep.
sperm donor, having babies by themselves? Absolutely yes. Do we see sexual liberation framed as empowerment? An OnlyFans account will tell you that.
Oh, okay. Yep.
Right?
I get you. Yep.
I'm so empowered because look at my breasts. Like, I'm going to start an OnlyFans account. I'm going to go on TikTok and bash men. There you go. Do we see suspicion of men as default? Absolutely
Yeah,
yes.
100%.
Gender feminism is a thing.
Yeah.
Man hating is a thing. There used to be a hashtag out there called Kill All Men. I don't know if it's still out there. But it is normal to hate men. And Wonder Woman was written by... I can't remember who
was
wrote
a guy.
it. Originally, what?
There's a man who wrote it.
No
Pretty
way.
sure Wonder Woman was created by a man.
Okay, but Herland, the original story, was
Oh,
written
yeah.
by a woman
Themyscira. Yeah.
who she dreamed of basically a utopian society where there was only women and no men. Right? Okay,
Wow.
so I just want to say that an ideologically neutral definition of patriarchy is a society led by father figures or men. And I believe in patriarchy. I've done a lot of research on this, and I've landed in saying that I agree with patriarchy because patriarchs understand that their authority is tied to sacrifice. If they have to sacrifice themselves in the front lines of war, they will do it. Matriarchy does not do the same thing. I'm sorry if you don't agree with me, but it is absolutely true. She might sacrifice herself
Her time and
for childbirth.
Yep.
Okay, fine.
Yeah.
But
Man is ready to give his life.
the men are ready to give their lives.
Yep.
Men are disposable.
Yep.
Men know that.
Yep.
So
one thing you hear often from Andrew Tate, which I actually never really understood, and I was like, oh, that's very true. Is he always says like, give the woman joy, happiness, like that's for the woman. For the men, it's suffering, it's facing problems. It's like I don't care about happiness. It's all about like
Survival?
it's all about survival and going through the suffering and experiencing the challenge. As long as she's happy, like I'm, that's my thing. That's all I need. And I'm like, yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Like I understand that.
and then you agree with that as a
Well,
man.
well, what's really interesting is I felt like when you watch kind of the old school movies from, like all the way when movies first began to 2000 and let's just say maybe 2010, it's like that's the flavor you get, right? You can't imagine a woman going to a man who's going off to war and she's like, please stay with me. And instead of going off to war and being like, no, I have to fight this war, him going, okay, you know what? I want to stay with you where the bed is nice and comfortable. So I'm going to go and stay with you. No. Like what you feel intuitively that is manly is the man going, I love you and I would love to stay, but I have to go and sacrifice myself and fight this war. And you do it. And there's something within the woman that just goes like, I want him so bad to be here, but I love that he's also like that as well. You know what I mean?
He's going to protect me and the country.
Yeah. So I think it's biological.
Do you mind if I touch on those 3 points?
Yeah, absolutely.
So the first one was... What was
Thou
the
shalt
first?
be autonomous, thou shalt be promiscuous, thou shalt hate all men.
Yeah, because I'm very on the fence with those. I think I'm very for women's autonomy in certain areas. I think the abortion thing is very complex, and I think that's where I don't really buy the argument that's purely about a woman's body. I think that it's also a human life. And I think that I think you have to hold both truths in that. Otherwise, I don't think you actually acknowledge the situation, but I won't get into that now. But yeah, I think women should be allowed to choose what career they want. If they want to buy a house, buy a house. They want to do X, Y, Z, do that. And obviously, as I mentioned before, the context of where my ancestry is from, Iran, women don't have that. So yeah, that's kind of the perspective I bring in. I'm always going to be comparing it to that. In terms of promiscuity, yeah, I don't agree with that at all. I think sex should be within marriage, but I can see the counter argument being made that feminism allowed for women to choose which partners they wanted. I don't know, and I don't know the nuances of what it was like, and how I don't even know the nuances of how feminism was instituted throughout history. But I've heard the narrative that women didn't have a lot of autonomy in choosing which partner they wanted to be with or who they wanted to marry. And so I can see a positive argument there for that's tenet. I don't agree with sexual promiscuity, but I guess what I'm trying to say is I think the idea that a woman should be able to choose who they want to be with, I think that's a really good thing. The last one, what was the last one again?
Thou shalt hate men.
Yeah, I think what I've seen happen is, and I see this with a lot of movements with marginalized people, and I've experienced this myself, is if you I personally do believe women have been marginalized. I mean, they are in the East, that's for sure. But I think in the West, probably historically, I need to look into it more. And feel free to tell me if I'm wrong. But from my understanding, they have been marginalized, and obviously men have been in power. So I can understand the anger at men. But I see what I've seen happen is that anger's turned to resentment, and instead of working towards some kind of reconciliation,
become like a revenge plot.
It's a revenge plot, and I think that's in a lot of racial movements as well. I felt I genuinely went through periods where I felt resentment towards white people, and that doesn't do anything. And I think when I guess there's certain things within the work movement around race stuff, around how white people have it so easy, or white people aren't as great, or whatever, or how white people are so problematic. It's like, this is what people were saying about me when I was growing up for being Middle Eastern. It's still racism. It's just shifted.
Yep.
And so that last one, I think what I see there is resentment that hasn't been dealt with.
Yep. So, because Carrie Grace talks about how Betty Friedan was very influenced by, I think it's Frederick Engels. I could be getting that very wrong.
Engels
Basically, a
and Marx.
Marxist theorist who applied that same model over feminism, and she took it and she like had a publishing deal and she ran with it or something. Basically, like that Marxist model of oppressor versus oppressed. So the men are the oppressors and the women are the oppressed, and instead of proletariat versus bourgeoisie, because the bourgeoisie were the upper class, the proletariat were the working class. So it's like, oh, okay, all right, so Marxism isn't working. Okay, how about feminism? Feminism seems to be getting trendy now. Like, let's push this on the political bandwagon. So, like, that's what happened historically. And then you get, then they realized that when women are angry, they start to rally. And they become your most passionate supporters. So this is why we have, that's why we had second wave feminism. And also, like, it's like feminism had the best marketing campaign. Because, okay, here are some other myths or facts that I want to debunk here. Lies that I want to debunk. Feminism did not invent women working. That was always, women were always working. Just want to say that. It was industrialization that changed, I guess, the flavor of that. The credit card line. Oh, I hate it when people say that, when women say, oh, you wouldn't be able to have a credit card if it wasn't for feminism. Okay, let me give you some facts.
Wait, can you explain that in the first place?
Okay, so I had a woman say to me, before feminism, women weren't able to apply for credit cards.
I just have a quick question. When did feminism start? When they say before feminism?
So Wollstonecraft probably wrote, her publication. I can't actually remember what it's called. Okay, but it was like 18 something.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry. And what country was it? Was it
British.
British. Okay, cool.
Yeah. Okay. So the Equal Credit Opportunity Act was passed in 1974, and before that, some banks required married women to have a male co-signer, which wasn't good if you didn't have a good marriage with your husband. But women could and did obtain credit before 74. Single women, widows, business women, they could all obtain credit. Okay. So the law standardized anti-discrimination, which was good. But it didn't invent the idea of women handling money. That was always around. Okay. All right. This is another interesting one. Women and education. So you wouldn't be able to have a uni degree if it wasn't for feminism. I really hate this one. So I just want to debunk this one. Women were earning university degrees in the 1800s. The first female doctor, I believe, is Elizabeth Blackwell in America. She graduated in 1849. Okay. But in defense of the feminists, feminism did expand access and enforcement of education for women, but it did not invent the concept of women learning. Okay, was there a lot of discrimination against women for getting a higher education? Yes, there was. Was the patriarchy very judgmental and mocking women for wanting to go to university? Yes. So I understand the anger of feminists, and I did a quick Google search, AI search about this. And the reason why in say 1800s, early 1900s, men didn't want women to get an education is because they felt it would remove them from the home, from their place in the home. And I'm like, I understand your anger at the discrimination, but look, I'm a dating coach and I'm looking at the dating market now, and women are completely obliterating men when it comes to academic success. So there is a hypergamy problem, and now women are so educated, they're now expecting men to rise to the occasion and meet them where they're at, or even be better than that. And men are just not there. So there has to be, something's got to give here. Anyway.
And are women naturally more conscientious as well?
Yeah.
So they're more likely to win at something like studies too?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So anyway, I don't know if you have any thoughts on that, gentlemen.
No, I think that's true. I think it's tricky. There's always a cost to, I still stand by, I think women having autonomy is a really beautiful thing, and it's something that I'm 100% for. But I can see in terms of hypergamy, and I feel that it's interesting. When you were saying, a woman would want the type of guy, if you're a woman, you would want your husband to go to war, even though you don't want him to stay. Yeah. And I'm like, I think most feminists will want that.
Yeah, it's
A
just
lot
true.
of feminists I've talked to in my personal life want a masculine guy.
Mm.
And so it's interesting when you mention the hypergamy thing, because it's almost like, I don't know, I have two thoughts. Is it an example of women kind of creating their own worst nightmare, like certain women who are high achieving creating their own worst nightmare?
Yeah.
Or is it a result of men actually not stepping up? And I was thinking about what you said about patriarchy, and it's very interesting. Because
That's a good question.
I think it lines up with kind of our biological nature, in a sense of like men being more hunter gatherers, protected providers, women being more caretakers or whatever. And I think as a Christian, that's sort of where I think theologically that lines up in a general sense. I think there's room for a bit of flexibility there. But yeah, I think when I thought about when you were saying patriarchy, I was like, yeah, I think the most ideal society would be a patriarchy. But I feel like the reasons we have issues with the patriarchy now, is because it's a patriarchy run by bad men. Yeah. And men who are not moral, and men who do not have any tenderness or care. And I mean that, I guess, like when you're talking about hypergamy, I guess my question is it a result of women kind of overcorrecting in a sense? Or is it a result of men actually not stepping up? Or is it both? Do you guys have a perspective on that?
Bit of column A, bit of column B. What do you think, Ken?
You tell us your perspective.
I think that, I mean, this is just my general theory and opinion, and I'm like, in this phase, even in my content, like wanting to just share my theories a bit more. Like, I'm not saying that I'm right, it's just thoughts in my head. But I do feel that women being more conscientious, more neurotic, more compliant with rules and whatever, have traded caring for a baby for sitting in a cubicle. And I don't think they understood what they were doing. Like, it's like we got all these rights, so we got the whole buffet open to us, but it wasn't actually good for us. They didn't realize that opening up the whole buffet would then block off all these other things we took for granted. And I had a guy on the weekend ask me, why do you think it's harder for people, singles now, to get together and get married? And I said, because we've removed the rites of passage for singles to meet each other and mingle and get married. We don't have our parents playing matchmaker. We don't have a community matchmaker. We don't have, which is why I've tried to be the Christian matchmaker. The Jewish community has that. So like feminism has made the standards just go through the roof, and women are just constantly unsatisfied.
And you know, the thing that I was thinking as we're talking about all this is like, do I know any feminist, like personally or on TV, that is genuinely happy? Probably not.
No.
Do you know many feminists though?
Yeah, I do actually. I do. Like, I wouldn't say hardcore feminists, but I would say people that when you talk to, you're just like, well, you got some very feministic views. So, I think when I think about it, I don't know anyone who's like that, who's genuinely happy to the core. And I think it goes to say, like what you're saying, there's like all these components that show biologically it's not the right way to be, which is, you know, of course there's the whole dating market that's not working. Then you've got the unsatisfaction of, oh, now I'm at the end of my rope, now I'm fully satisfied, but why am I missing joy? Because I'm not fully focused on the thing that really gives me joy, that I'm biologically made to give me joy, which is, being a mother. And also, now they're also, because they feel in some shape or sense, they have a higher frame than men because they're more educated.
Exactly.
They look down on the men,
right.
which is really interesting because I have to ask you this, right?
Higher frame.
They have a higher frame than men. So here's the interesting thing. I heard, and I don't think you're going to agree with me on this, but there's a male coach that I know, a men's coach, okay, and more so red pill coach, and he says that in order for a man to keep a woman and have a great relationship with a woman, a man needs to maintain something called competition anxiety, which basically means at all times, she needs to have anxiety, like when she needs to constantly have anxiety of, oh my God, he's so good, I need to work even harder, like to make sure that I'm going to be like, he's not going to pick someone else, right? So as long as in a way, it's very, very extreme view, right? But he says, as long as you maintain that in the relationship where she's like, I've got such a good deal, I got to work harder, keep the food, keep this, look pretty, go to the gym, all this kind of stuff. As long as you keep that, a man will have a great relationship, as long as that is the frame. Which in a way, and I heard another way this is put, it's like for the most optimal chemistry, the woman has to look at the guy as like he's a little bit better than me type of thing, right? And this is very extreme. This is kind of what I've heard. And then you think what you're saying as well, which is kind of like now the women have the higher frame, and then the chemistry doesn't work as well. And we were talking at the beginning of the podcast where we were like, you know, do we know anyone who has reverse polarity where it works? What's your thoughts on what I've just said?
Sorry, I have another question.
No, please.
I've seen women who are very successful in the corporate world, very university educated, that date like blue collar tradie guys, and they're like head over heels.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like someone who's a
okay,
bit dumb
that's
as
interesting.
bricks.
Yeah.
Okay, because they're playing different status games.
So yeah, that's what I'm curious. So where do we draw distinctions here?
Okay, so she's winning in the corporate field,
And he's winning in the bed.
He's
No,
winning,
no,
probably. He's winning in the being a big brute who can, I don't know, protect her, maybe.
Yeah.
So is it really to do with the subjective view of what women value in terms of providing and protection? So what I mean by that is some women maybe value like a guy who's handy around the house and who's fun and is charismatic, rather than a guy who's another corporate nerd. While some girls are like, no, he has to work at EY. You have to be a punter. Like because in their head that's like the status, like I think I know some people who are like Asian that like the guy has to be like in the same industry or like a white collar job but better.
You know what? I think what Poya is saying is actually a really good point, because I think it also depends on where the woman feels that kind of inferiority, superiority kind of frame control. Because, for example, there's an online coach. She makes millions, right? This is like a business coach online. She's on LinkedIn, and she says that I make much more than my husband does.
Right.
But when we go out to dinner, my husband will pay because it allows me to go into my feminine. What's your thought? I'm curious. What's your thoughts on this? Yeah.
I mean, you know me, it's all about the kids. It's all about division of labor. And if the man is breadwinning, then if the man is the provider of the resources, the woman is the organizer of the resources. You know, she's the one that has to get the groceries, cook the dinner, arrange, you know, the way the house is, do the laundry, fold the laundry, look after the babies, nurture the babies. So like, it really comes down to that.
Yeah.
And the children win when the polarity is in the right place. So that's kind of like my home turf. Like that's my North Star. I think that's biblical.
What do you think? And Poya, I'm curious what you think too. What do you think happens to the kids when the reverse polarity happens?
Oh, they just have really screwed up.
Like, what does that look like, though?
This is what it looks like.
Daddy's
Daddy's so funny, you can't even listen to me. Oh, you're always telling me what's. I know from first-hand experience, not as in my relationship, but other relationships.
I get you.
I'm
curious to see. I'm
I've
curious
seen
to
it.
see the data on what happens to kids with reverse polarity. I'd be
But
really
I think you can also have
curious to see
kids
that.
in like where there's just the masculine, feminine, the normal masculine, and I think it also depends on the people. You can have healthy polarity,
for
but still
sure.
be
You can have
toxic
healthy
parents.
polarity, but a really like really destructive marriage, for sure.
Oh, but yeah, and also
Abusive.
abusive parents.
Yeah, for
So
sure.
I don't know. I wonder if you can be reverse polarity and be loving parents.
That's a good question.
Where you like dad is the soft one and mum is the hard one, or like mum is the.
Oh, I've seen it. No, I've seen it.
No, but you
I've
know
seen
what?
it.
Yeah.
The kids sometimes turn out all right, but then they have like mummy or daddy issues.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because the dad's not stepping up as a man, and the woman's not being the comfort nurturer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a theory.
So
I've seen it,
Tony
yeah.
Robbins says this. He's kind of doing intervention with someone, and the guy is like
Right.
basically a guy who his wife is like this crazy, wild, like you know, really like hippie lady, and she's wild and crazy, and she's got this fiery energy, and he's like this kind of tame, kind of like you know, not even grounded, but just like a little bit of a pussycat. And Tony Robbins challenges him, and it's such a you got to watch it. It's so funny.
Link it to me.
He does this really interesting thing, and at the end, he basically just says, he asks him a few questions. He goes, okay, so your dad pleased your mum all the time.
Yeah.
And this is a man that's rewarded for being weak, you know?
Wow.
And then this is why he's weak. And I'm like, yeah, so this is exactly what happened. This is seeing. Reverse polarity creates this.
Oh my god.
In this particular man, he was just kind of like an emasculated man, you know?
So sad.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I know we need to wrap up.
Yeah.
Okay, so the real question isn't whether feminism did any good. It did. It did contribute to reform, suffragettes, the vote, legal reforms. The real question is, what did it redefine? Because as a dating coach, I see women who are professionally very successful, as we've described, financially independent, sexually liberated, and deeply confused in relationships. Net negative or net positive? I think net negative. Just even from an anecdotal point of view.
Absolutely.
I'd have to say, I'd actually have to say net positive.
Wow, okay.
I need to see more.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah.
And again, I'm coming from a context of like Iran.
Got it. Okay.
You know, like, and I think, yeah. So
yeah. Okay.
look, I'm gonna say net positive, but
yeah.
as I said, I'm always open to being proven wrong.
Yeah. Okay.
Jess, are we going to do another podcast on this? Because I feel like there's so many.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I feel
There's
like we
so
need a
many.
part two.
There's so many little rabbit holes down the feminine.
We should
this
bring
is-
someone in.
Yeah, I think we should.
Yeah.
Because this is about debunking the main myth of like, if it wasn't for feminism, you wouldn't be able to work, and I don't think that's true. Okay, so we're going to close here. But what story did feminism make us absorb in the culture? We're going to leave that loop open, and goodbye.